Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. Before I hand it over to our speakers, just a reminder to put any questions you have in that Q&A box. The chat box, you can say hello, let us know where you're tuning in from. But I'll go ahead and hand it over to our speakers today. Thanks for being here.
Awesome. Thanks so much for the intro, Kara. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're really excited to be here. Just going to intro who's on our call today. My name is Maddie. I'm Rival's Director of Product Marketing. And our VP of Customer Success, Julia, and I are really excited to share a bit about Rival's approach to conversational research and, of course, insight communities. So a little bit about us, who's Rival. We're pioneers in online communities and conversational research methodologies. Our teams provide end-to-end research solutions through technology, services, and our audience panels. That means that brands who partner with us, they can use our technology like fully DIY, or some choose to partner with us as an extension of their team with our amazing CS team run by Julia, or by engaging our sister company, Reach 3 Insights, which is a full-service consultancy. So I already mentioned conversational research a few times, and it's really what we developed as a solution to some of the struggles with traditional research methods you can see here on the slide. I'm sure everyone on this call has faced some, if not all, of these challenges. Over time, it's gotten harder and harder to recruit participants, get authentic responses, and that's because if they're not lost in inboxes, traditional surveys often feel clinical, test-like. They're not really appealing to any generation or demographic, let alone our younger friends in Gen Z. And the results of this is declines in responses and quality. And we all know how much that's hurting research ROI, which is what we're all going for. So consumers now expect communication to be instant, mobile, conversation. At this point, we all know how to use texting through our mobile devices. Our grandparents are all active in the group chat. It's way less formal. Texting and conversational combos tend to bring people's walls down. They can share more authentically and in the moment. And this shift in communication standard is really what inspired Rival's conversational approach. So with Rival, surveys are delivered through SMS or other channels like WhatsApp. This is a feature we recently launched, which is really helpful to reach certain markets. And then insights are collected through participants' responses through this conversational approach. So it allows people to respond in a way that feels natural so that answering a survey feels more like talking to a friend or a colleague. And through this method, we're able to reach people of all generations in the moment and get their authentic thoughts and feedback. And we have plenty of proof that this method works. Both quantifiably, the stats that you can see here, and also through feedback from members of real branded communities that we host on Rival. I really love these comments because you can see the impact that being part of the community has on both their brand perception and the overall willingness to participate in research activities and give their authentic thoughts. So you must be wondering how you can use Rival to achieve results like this. I'm going to pass things off to Julia here so she can show us some of the key parts of the Rival platform through some demos and more. Thanks, Julia.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Maddie. So before I jump into the platform, I want to show something that's a little hard to demo live. As you mentioned already, our communities are mobile first. And so when someone subscribes to a community, we actually send them a contact card to their phone. They save that in their phone, just like, you'd save a friend or family member's contact. And this is how the community builds trust with members. So they know that when they get a text from the dedicated community's phone number, that it's just a quick chat of what we call our conversational surveys from their favorite brand and not another long, boring survey that they might want to ignore. And I think because of this combination of this really positive participant experience, we see, about 40% of people responding to surveys within just an hour of sending out invites. And our completion rates are in the 85% to 90% rate, or even higher. So I'm going to jump over into the platform now. So bear with me while I just switch screens here. So I thought I'd start off by showing off the actual respondent experience. So we've really put respondents first at Rival. And what you're seeing, obviously I'm demoing on a computer, but this is a mobile first platform that is device agnostic. And what you're seeing here is one of our chats or conversational surveys. So as you can see, it starts with a little welcome from a community manager. We use emojis, we use GIFs or GIFs, whatever you prefer to say, to make the experience a little bit more engaging for respondents. So you can both, show media and collect media from respondents as well. And I'll show you an example of that in just a second here. Just want to show you a couple of the question types, get an idea of what a grid looks like on our mobile platform, and then answer a couple demographic questions. I'm purchasing my sodas at convenience stores. Peachy soda is great if I'm feeling peachy. And now I'll show you how easy it is to upload a video as well. So what's really cool is that this is really a qual and quant platform. So in addition to having all the quantitative questions that you'd want to ask people, you can also collect qualitative feedback. And one of those ways is by selfie video. So, I can take a quick little video here. It's going to record me for just a moment, send that in. There's nowhere else to go for the respondent to do that. You can do that right in the tool, right from the front-facing camera. It opens up. So quick view of responding experience. And now I'm going to jump over into the back end and show you a couple of things. So first of all, let's start in Chat Hub. So this is actually our essentially the dashboard. So when you first log into the platform, you can see all of your surveys, all your chats, a quick idea of the participation stats. This is where things like reports and exports can be shared and easily accessible. And you also can see a top line report here as well, which is great. This is a real-time report. It's not as in-depth as our reporting platform, but you can see your results live in the moment as they're coming in. And something that's really cool about this is that if you are collecting video, I'll scroll down to a video collection question here. You can see not only is the video uploaded immediately, but it's also instantly transcribed. So there you can see the one that I just took of me. I didn't record for long, so just a little bit of text there, but you can see the other one. There's instant transcription and sentiment analysis available essentially immediately. You can even search for keywords in there if you're looking for a clip of something in particular, which is pretty cool. So now I'm going to head over into another part of the tool and show you what the backend looks like for the authoring experience. So we've designed the authoring of surveys to be really, really user-friendly. Everything that you see here is drag and drop, and each element on the authoring canvas is essentially what we call a card. And so you can see that video there, and a lot of kind of in between where we show text, we show, kind of a back and forth conversation. And a really cool thing about this, so for example, if you are kind of new to conversational surveys, it's definitely a little bit of a different way of thinking about asking questions and talking to people. We've built in an AI tone refinement tool that allows you to essentially say, okay, the tone of my brand is maybe it's cheerful, edgy, enthusiastic. We've just got random ones picked here, but you can decide what attributes to apply. And then it's actually going to give you some suggestions to rewrite what you may have already written. You can even go in and, and if you're, maybe the tone is a little bit more serious, your brand maybe is a little bit more formal, you can get rid of the emojis, or maybe it's a more casual, fun brand. You can actually emoji it up and add more. And so it'll give you suggestions even for what emojis to use. As I mentioned, you can show video, collect video, same thing with any other type of media. There's a little GIF there. Another really cool thing with our platform is the ability to collect and reuse profile attributes. So you see, this is a question. I think in the survey itself, I answered an age question, but this one's been set as what is the soda category you purchase more often. So once that's set as a profile attribute, I can now use that in any future survey. So if it was a demographic question, I can use that to decide on use for my survey logic so that the branching makes sense and that you don't ever have to re-ask anyone a question. You can use that in distributions as well if you need to just send to a specific group, and of course use that to cut your data in reporting. So I'm going to give you a brief view as well of some of our question cards. So we have a few different types of cards. The message cards are more for presenting information, images, videos. Question cards, obviously, as much as this is a very engaging and chatty respondent experience on the back end, we've really built it with all of the rigor you would expect with a research platform. So every question type that you can imagine with tons of functionality in all of them. And then, of course, some system cards here as well. So within each card as well, you can add, survey logic and get as complex as you need to make the experience a really positive one for respondents. So one more thing I want to show actually before I leave this page is one of our newest cards, which we're quite excited about, just recently released this. So this is our Smart Probe card. Maybe doesn't look so exciting at first glance, but what this does is this is an AI-based probing card. So essentially, if I ask a question, what did you think of this? And someone responds with an open end that's just, I like it. I mean, that doesn't really tell us much, obviously. So the smart probing is actually built to score responses based on a 10-factor thoughtfulness score. So it actually looks at what they've said and sends follow-up questions to probe a little bit deeper. Ask them, you said you liked it. Can you tell us why? What were the reasons you liked it? And that way you're not having to go back out more than once to ask people to give their feedback, and you get really very rich, deep insights from people because they're able to kind of respond in the moment. This is a really cool card. We've built in kind of a system prompt that gives the high level overview of instructions to the AI of what to do. You can also go in and do things quite custom as well. So if it's a really specific question, you can tell the Smart Probe card what you want it to ask about. You can even tell it what things to not ask about. Maybe you don't want it to ask about a competitor brand or something like that. You can actually build that right into your survey in advance, which is really cool. The authoring itself, the experience is very easy. Everything that you see here is drag and drop. You can move things around, reorder them, and each type of card has a unique icon. So not only do you know what you're looking at, but you can even see whether there's logic applied like there is in this one. So in this platform, obviously, it's very user-friendly, but we do also have scripting capabilities. So if you need to do something on the back end, set up a roll-up or add a hidden variable, those kinds of things, add really specific quotas, whatever you need to do, it's a really robust platform for building out robust surveys as well as being an engaging experience for the respondent. We already talked a little bit about SMS delivery at the beginning. Our platform, actually, we can distribute not just via SMS, I mean, that's what we started with, but we can also distribute via WhatsApp, via email, via any, API driven. So whether that's, a client wants to have push notifications in their app to invite people to surveys or off their website, that kind of thing, we make it really easy to do that. We also specialize in multi-channel recruitment. So we can recruit people in via social media, from their internal sources like CRMs. We can even put a QR code on a package. We have a customer who is a chocolate brand, and they've actually now got a QR code on the back of all their packaging. So when someone purchases a chocolate bar, they can scan that code. It brings them right into a rival survey. They're able to answer a few questions and join the community that way. And we know we're talking to the real consumers, and they're able to come right in. One other thing I'll say about invitations and distribution as well is that we also have the ability to set what we call smart invitations. So this is really cool. So for example, if you have maybe a more in-depth study or even a multi-day something like a mission where you want people to participate in something, or a diary study day after day, you can actually set everything up in advance using smart invites. So I won't do that now. It's not going to be happy with me if I do, but you can set things up. So you can say, send, survey to once someone takes this action after a delay of 48 hours. You can even get more specific than that and deliver it in their own time zone. So if you want everybody to do something at the same time, maybe that's 11 a.m. and you've got people all spread across time zones, you can make sure that it's going to go to them in their particular time zone so you can get that live in the moment feedback. What else do I want to show? I think I'll jump over to chat data and show you another really cool feature, which is our AI summarizer. So this is essentially a way to work with your open ends to essentially instantly bubble up the top themes in a question. So this question, going back to soda, what makes a soda refreshing? You can see all of the themes that it's generated based on what people have said. So it saves a ton of time. There's no coding needed anymore with our platform. And it's really cool. When you open it up, you can see not only all the responses that it pulled to create that theme, a relevant score, a sentiment score, and you can even, if you need to, go in and edit that. And you're like, you know what, that insight doesn't really make sense to me. You can change things, put a description, and it's really, really customizable as a function. Next thing I think that I'll show is, maybe I'll just mention this. I don't think we have tons of time, so I'm going to try to speed it up just a little bit. But we also collect videos, as you know, so you can see, of course, we can do AI insights on the videos as well. But a great thing with our tool is the ability to actually take these videos and use our AI Insight Reel creation tool. So this is also a really new feature for us, and it does the hard work of pulling together, all of the most impactful clips from video selfies into a polished end product. So you don't need to moonlight as a video editor. The tool will look for, based on your prompts, the types of videos you need or the clips that you need, and tie it together into a really amazing deliverable with very little effort on the user's end to create something that can really bring your data to life using, the most impactful video clips. One more thing I'll show here in the platform as well is our community dashboard, since we're talking about insight communities today. So, this is really used obviously to make sure you're keeping an eye on engagement, make sure engagement stays high. This will help you know when you need to recruit, when you need to refresh the community, remove poor responders, keep an eye on your response rates. Obviously, this is demo data, so it looks a little funny, but it's really great for any community manager. And this is all really customizable as well. So if you really want to drill down to, not just what happened in the last 12 months, but maybe just the last month, you can customize this. You can also pull in your profile attributes that I talked about before, or other things, any data point. Like, these are all widgets that can be moved around. So maybe I don't care about household income and region. Maybe I want to pull in my own segments or something like that, and able to do that. So really great way to keep a close eye on how your community is faring. So there's a ton more that I could show, but I think we're just about out of time. So what I'm going to do now is pass it back over to Maddie. She's going to show you a little sneak peek of what's coming next in our platform. We have some really cool enhancements coming that she's going to talk about. And if you'd like to see a deeper dive on the platform, on the back end, please get in touch with us. I think we'll have our contact information at the end of the presentation. So back to you, Maddie.
Yeah, I can give really quick, Kara, I know there might be questions, but I'll go over these super quick. We got some fun stuff in the works right now. This that you're seeing on screen is our next edition of our top line report that Julia showed earlier. So we've really given it a refresh to make it more mobile friendly, something you can send directly to stakeholders. Executives really love to see this. And it is for that instant feedback. Like, you launch your survey, you want to see what's coming in the moment, and this really helps with that. We've also embedded some of our AI features into that as well. And of course, like, fully customizable, keeps you in the driver's seat. We're not, turning things over to our robot overlords, but integrating them into the platform in a way that you still have a lot of control. So that's an exciting one. And the last slide here is just a little update to our participant experience. We're adding some new question card types, which is really exciting, some capability for emoji tapbacks, just more conversational ways to engage. And you saw it really quickly. There was a blurred video. We're also giving users the opportunity, or participants, the opportunity to blur their video, just so that, people have nerves. They might not want to be fully on screen, but it gives you that more engaging result, like something that you could share in a report or send to an exec or use in a presentation, just makes it a great way to collect a bit more of that video. So we cut it really tight there, Karis. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have questions we couldn't answer. We'd love to hear from you all.
Thank you so much, both of you. This was great. If anyone was joining a little bit late today, then there's a big, everything will be available on demand. There's also a button on your page that says book time with me that'll take you to Rival's website if you want to book a further conversation. But we are right at the end of time. Sorry we couldn't get to any questions, but thank you so much, Maddie and Julia, and thank you everyone for being here. See you in the next session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.